Hello and welcome back. While I work on my next gaming video, I thought I would do something different and just demonstrate a small program that I have written in BASIC, which is the language used by the Amstrad CPC. Since my first two videos have been about the CPC, I thought we'd do another one. Now, to write the program, I used free tools. These are WinApe, which is a Amstrad CPC emulator. It's a free program. If you're interested in either playing Amstrad games or even learning about coding, I highly recommend googling WinApe and downloading it. It's quite a cool little program. The next tool I used was Notepad. This is because it's the 21st century and writing code inside the Amstrad emulator isn't that easy in terms of handling things like typos and stuff like that. And the last thing was basically a spreadsheet. This was just used to plot the positions on the screen. So I'm just going to show you the code. So we'll hide the WinApe to begin with. Right. So OBS seems to only allow me to show so many lines of the code. So I've split it across 3 files. Now I'm just going to go through some of the kind of main lines of the program. If you're interested in just seeing the final program, you can skip to the end. It's nothing particularly fancy, but this is, is an Amstrad CPC, and I'm not really that good at graphics, so yeah. So in BASIC, you have to manually define the line numbers, so that's why we have these numbers at the start of each line. Now the line numbers can start at wherever you want them to start. The only thing to note is they have to be in the order you want them to run. So here we go at line 1, we're calling the function CLS. Now CLS stands for clear screen, so when we first run the program we're going to clear the screen. Feel free to correct any of the terms that I use, because I'm sure some of my programmer buddies will not hesitate to correct me, so feel free. So the next method we're going to call is the border command. Now the Amstrad CPC, if I just bring that back, is the screen is split up into 3 distinct areas. There's a border, which is, as the name says, is the border around the screen. There's the page, which is basically the inner part of the screen, and then there is the pen, which is basically the characters on the screen. So, for example, if we wanted to set the border to be the colour white, we would do border 13. Oh, I'll tell you I could spell. This is why the editor doing it in Notepad is a bit better, but that sets the as white as you're going to get. That's the more grey, really, isn't it? But then again, I am colourblind, so who knows. And if you wanted to make it yellow, I'm just going based on the book. I can't spell border. Apparently 12 is yellow. It's really more green. I think the colours are slightly off. Anywho, if we just clear that. So that's what the border command is going to do. So the next command we're going to then do is call mode. Now mode basically, sorry, you can probably hear me fumbling about the pages when you double check something. Mode changes the number of characters and colours that can be displayed on the screen. So where is the So there you go. So number of columns. So mode 0 is 20 columns, mode 1 is 40 columns, and mode 2 is 80 columns. So if we go back to the emulator, if we do mode 2, we now are at 80 characters per line, 80 columns rather. So it just allows for some more text and graphics to be displayed, and mode 0 is 20 now. Default is 1, so we'll just do that. So the next line in the code, let's go back to the code, is we're going to then set the pen. So the pen is just the text. We're going to set that to be 15, which according to this is orange, but actually I think it displays as yellow. But anyway, and then now lines 10 to 40, I don't want to go into too much detail, but basically all that's doing is it's looping through the data array, which is defined at the bottom here. Now this array, oops, you can't see that. Now this array basically contains X and Y coordinates. What's quite interesting is the CPC only allows so many characters per line, so you have to split your array across multiple lines. So as you can see, it's split across quite a few lines, but basically each one is an X and then a Y coordinate. And all the loop does is it reads the first one and then reads the second one and then goes back around and reads the next one and then prints them out. Now locate is basically setting the cursor to be the X and the Y coordinate, and print is just printing the character. It's just doing exactly what it says. It's printing the character to the screen. Now the character we're printing is 143, which is basically just a little box, just a solid box, and that's it. Now the next line we can look at is this here. It's again, as I said before, it's just setting the cursor to be at this point and then printing the words pro gaming. We're then changing the ink color and the paper color, and we're going to start playing a wee sound. Now we're going to do this 22, so that means we're starting at position so X. So this is going to be doing it in a loop, but I want the loop to start at 24 because for each in that position I want it to play the wee character. Now the wee man, which is character 250, is going to walk. He's going to start at X24 and Y20 and then finish at 54, and then when he gets to 54 he's going to go back the way, and that's that. The call to the BD19, I'm not going to get into it. It's to do with refreshing the frame rate just to make it a much more smoother animation, and so that's just him coming back the way again, and that's basically it. There's really not much to it, so what we'll do is we'll just copy this program and we'll go to sorry, just before I just want to show quickly the spreadsheet. We just hide that a second. So this is the spreadsheet I use to work out what points we want the text to display, the yellow box to be displayed. So as you can see here, this is a 80 column by 25 row grid, which maps the CPC's screen layout, and because we want the text buttons to be displayed, we need to know where to place our box. So in this case here we can see that if we zoom in, so 25 column 25 row 8 is where our first box is going to appear, and basically we're just going through, and that's what each of those coordinates in that data array kind of represents. So go back to the emulator, and with the magic of technology I am going to type some code really fast. So we've now got our program loaded into memory, and if we just clear the screen we can see that it's in memory by doing a list command. Let's just list the program again. So to see the wonderful program, we'll just hit run. So that's the wonderful program that was written. It displays the word buttons by plotting the yellow box, the coordinates required. It makes a wee man run at the bottom of the screen. It changes the border colour every so many seconds, and it displays pro gaming at the end, and that's really it. So if you enjoyed that video, or even just didn't like it, please let me know. Thank you for watching. And just for fun, let's speed it up and do super fast. It's made me giggle.